What's up, buttercups? How's it going today? So, yesterday morning, I was laying in bed. I was still in between consciousness and awakeness, and a little voice came to me and said, "You need to do a video about the most shameful moment of your life." Uh, no? Yeah, you need to. You need to put it out there so that people can know that it's okay to have shameful moments and bounce back from them, and that there's beautiful, beautiful medicine in them. And you can be the example of that. I'd rather not. Yeah, we're gonna need you to anyway. Fuck. Okay. Because your girl follows that intuition. Wherever it comes from, when it feels right, I go with it. And so here I am, sharing with you my life's most shameful moment to date. It was my super secret second marriage to my second husband. Yeah. What? Yeah. So, about 10 days after my divorce was final from my first husband, and 5 months after I split from my first husband, who I had been with for 12 years, I walked into a courthouse and married my second husband. Not against my will, but kinda. Nah, I have to take ownership for this one. I made a decision. And part of that decision was it was when I met my second husband, I was in extreme survival mode and scarcity mode. I left my first husband. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a steady income. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I had just come off of this 40-day trip to India, and I was super high on intuition and inspiration and divine spirit and all these things moving through me, and the goddess Kali and this connection, and everything was phenomenal. And then when my first husband read my diary and threw it in my face and told me to get the fuck out, and then ruined all my shit, and then I had to move out of our house to a friend's guest house, and I didn't have any fucking means whatsoever, but I was still like kind of feeling myself because I just did this yoga teacher training, so I was feeling hot. So I was like, I'll get on Tinder. That's a great idea right now. Add some fucking chaos into this mess. And then I met my second husband. He was the first and only person I had met off of Tinder, and I was in love right away because your girl was desperate for love and attention and affection for a myriad of reasons. And then he saw the situation that I was in, and bless his heart, was like, I can help you. We can move in together, but we're going to have to get married. Fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck. But I believed that he was my soulmate. Really and truly, I did. I'd had a vision in India of my future daughter, and she looked like him, and you can't make this shit up. And so I was like, you know what? Yeah, I wanted to be a mom. Let's do this. You're my guy. We've only been together 2 months. I'm still processing a 12-year marriage that ended extremely abruptly, and don't even really have a talking relationship with the person who I considered my best friend for that amount of time. Yeah, this seems like a great idea. It didn't seem like a great idea. I knew it wasn't a great idea. I knew it was actually a fucking horrible idea. I knew that I was dishonoring myself every fucking step of the way when I said that I wanted to marry him. I didn't want to marry him. I wasn't ready to marry him. Or maybe I wanted to marry him, but not yet. Like maybe I let the dust settle from the first marriage before I just jump into another one. However, a girl's got to eat. So, 10 days after I walked out of the courtroom from my first divorce, in which I got royally nailed on because I didn't advocate for myself because I thought this guy's going to take care of me. 10 days after that, I walked into another courtroom to marry my second husband. I did it in secret for the most part. There were a handful of people that knew. I didn't tell my dad. I didn't tell pretty much any of my family. I felt deep shame. I knew it wasn't the right thing to do. And I was terrified. Absolutely terrified. And I remember that morning of the wedding just telling myself, I've just got to smile through it. I've just got to smile through it. I'm meant to do this. I don't know how I know, but I'm meant to do this. And I talked myself into it. I talked myself into being happy about it, even though I really wasn't. I made the most of it. I got a nice dress, and I had somebody come over and do my hair. My best friend was there, because my best friend is always there. Best friends are amazing. And then somebody that I thought was my best friend was also there. But one of the reasons I felt so much shame around this was the societal pressure to figure it out on your own and to not need to rely on a man for anything. And I was a feminist, am a feminist, and thought, I was going against that. But society's not fair, right? And I had relied on a man for 12 years, and then he kicked me out. So then I shamefully started to rely on another man. And every part of my feminist being just despised myself for that. I also had the person who I thought was my best friend literally say to me that she questioned my values as a woman because I was making that decision to marry my second husband. I didn't feel like I could tell my people because so many of them sided with my ex. And I felt very alone. Extremely alone. And like I was doing something wrong. Even though at the time, it really felt like the only option available to me because of my lack of resources at the time. And a lot of women are put in that position, unfortunately. And I got lucky because the man I married was a very beautiful fucking person and soul and genuinely cared about me and my well-being and really wanted to take care of me and love me. And he did. For 3 years, he did. And we got a divorce because, go figure, we're not actually that compatible. We didn't really have the time to get to know that because we'd only been together for about 5 months at that point. Yeah. 5 months. So why am I sharing all of this with you? A few reasons. The first is that we have to start sharing our stories, the bad and the ugly ones, the ones that we're not proud of, because we are inundated with success and perfection and everything wonderful in people's lives without anything fucking real on the internet. And the things that are real are either violently real or questionably real. And as women, the standards of perfection that we are held to in terms of how we appear, what we do, the actions that we take, who we take them with, the circumstances that we're put in or that we're not, opportunities that come or that don't, how we handle things don't get expressed. We as humans don't always make the right decisions. And sometimes we as humans make the best decisions with what we've got handed to us. Given the state of mind I have now, 4 or 5 years ago, I wouldn't make the same decision. Not at all. I would have handled everything differently. I would have handled how I went about my first divorce differently. I would have handled how I went about my second marriage differently. I would have handled everything differently, but I didn't have this brain then. I had that brain. And that brain was a fucking walking trauma response that was just telling me that my whole world was unsafe forever. And all I wanted to do was feel fucking safe. And there was a person who was in my life who was telling me, I can help you feel safe. And I believed him. And he was right. He held it down. He fucking held it down. It was a good decision. It was the right decision. As shameful as it was the right fucking decision. The other reason I'm doing this is because ultimately the lesson, the medicine that came from this was that I learned how important it is to love yourself through it all, through everything, through the good, the bad, the shameful, the ugly, the I don't know if I can show my face in public again because I'm so embarrassed by who I am, what I become, what I've done, whatever the narrative is, right? We've all got one. We've all got one. And you still deserve to be loved. And you deserve to love yourself. And I learned that I had to love myself. And I had to claim myself as lovable because it didn't feel at the moment like the rest of the world would. And so, in feeling like the rest of the world wasn't going to be able to love me because of the decisions I had made, I had decided to love myself through everything. And it has been the most powerful decision I've ever made. We have since gotten divorced. Go figure. But we're still beautiful friends. Really, truly beautiful friends. And I am grateful that I didn't listen to the people that tried to convince me not to marry him, that tried to judge me out of marrying him. Very grateful for that, because it really, truly was the best decision I made. So if you made it this far, thank you. And if there's something that you want to get off your chest, some shameful moment that you just need to have seen and witnessed and hear that you are loved, I'm inviting you to send me a message and tell me as much or as little as you want. And I won't send you a huge message back, but I will definitely respond to you and just let you know that you are seen and you are loved. Mwah.